is I'll be telling a short story about my father, and then I'll be doing a short monologue afterwards. No worries. I think like months ago, I was like, I'll do a dance! Different moms of the year. And thank you so much for having me here today. Also, my family is here, so that's so I was originally booked on May 14th, which was the 9th anniversary of my father's passing. It's very weird to think about how much time has passed, because some days it feels like a very long time, and some days it feels like it was yesterday. When I was growing up, I had been performing a lot. I've been in dance recitals since I was like 3 years old, and year after year I'd be in the recital, and year after year my dad would be there with the camera recording it. He was always very present and very encouraging of me in the arts, which is why it was no surprise when I got into the drama program at Lincoln Park High School, which I'm born and raised in Chicago, so fun fact about me. And like it was really, really great, and it was a fantastic program, but Lincoln Park is all the way in Lincoln Park, and I lived in Jefferson Park, which if you don't, they're very different parks. One is much more Polish than the other. But also, it would take about an hour and 15 minutes for me to get to school every day. And it wouldn't have been worth it if it weren't for the fact that the program was so great. Specifically, my teacher, Mr. Frelick, he's still alive. He's the best man that lived on this earth, but the story is not about him, it's about my dad. Anyway, so I was in this program, and as a freshman, our focus in the program was on acting. And the seniors in the program, their focus was on directing, which meant for our final exam, the freshman actors would do a monologue for the scary senior directors. And I remember one day we were in the final rehearsal process for right before we're supposed to like go into our finals, like the last day we're allowed to like practice in class. And it also happened to be like 9 degrees outside with a wind chill because the lake effect happens in Lincoln Park. So the wind chill was like -15. At the time, my dad was unemployed, and so my mom was like, hey, go get your kid from school. She's like 90 pounds, it's -1,000 degrees outside, and she will die. And my dad, thanks babe, and my dad, being the understanding guy that he was, begrudgingly made his way in his car to the Lincoln Park neighborhood to pick me up in very, very, very cold weather. So I'm doing this monologue. I'm in class. Life is great, and I do the best run of this monologue I have ever done in my life. And I'm like sitting there, and I'm like such a nerd. And at this point, I'm like, oh, I fucking love acting. I want to do this forever. And so I'm like sitting there, waiting for my notes because I know I did a good job. And I'm like, oh, I can't wait till like Frelick gets to my name. It's gonna be super awesome. And Frelick is like going down the list. He's wasting all his time with these hacks who don't even do acting anymore. And, and the bell rings, and school's dismissed, and he didn't get to me. But Frelick, being the sweet baby angel that he is, again, this is not about him, but he does deserve props, offered to stick around after class, and if you really wanted your notes, like he'll come and give them to you. But I knew that my dad was on Armitage Avenue, probably facing west already, ready to go home, and I could tell by like the discombobulated text that he had already sent me with his giant sausage fingers that he was waiting for me. And so I didn't really want to like make my dad wait longer, because he also had a temper, but I also super needed that validation. So I decided to screw over my dad and just wait the extra like 15 minutes to get my notes from Frelick. And I waited, and he got to me, and I look at the notes, and okay, like I want to like hype myself up, but it just said "great" in all caps. And having since studied theater, I now know how useless that note is. knew he was going to be pissed. I opened the door and my dad's like blasting music super duper loud. He was always doing that. He was always playing music. If he was in the car, always playing music. Super fun for car karaoke, super horrible for a conversation. And so, thanks, Maeve. And so I get into the car and the music's playing and whatever. And I immediately, like the woman I am, start apologizing for my existence. I'm like, oh, sorry, Dad. Like, you know, I had to like wait a little bit. Philip was gonna give me my notes for my monologue, and I really wanted to hear what he had to say. And then my dad did something that he had never done probably in his entire life. And he took his MP3 player that was hooked up to a cassette tape that was in his car. Yeah, another one. And he pressed pause. And he said, oh, can I hear it? And I'm like, well, I'm sitting down. It's kind of like a standing up. I'm like, okay, I guess, you know. And I did it for him on Armitage Avenue. And I finished the monologue, and my dad goes, nice. And he turned the music back on, and I got a hot dog. Yeah. And so basically, fast forward, my dad passes, and the seniors are having their annual Oscar celebration, which was like their way of saying goodbye. And they would have these awards that were like kind of like fake awards, like best Christopher Walken impressions and like best excuse for being late to class, whatever. And my dad had passed away less than 24 hours before the visit happened. And I didn't go to school that day because I get a pass. And, but I really wanted to go. I wanted to say goodbye to the seniors. I bought like a thrift store dress. I really wanted to wear it. And I wanted to go to the party. And I went, and they get to a category called Best Freshman Monologue from the auditions. And I won Best Freshman Monologue. And they gave me a little trophy that they got from Michael's craft store. And I took it home, and it was the first time that I realized that I'm going to keep living, and I'm going to keep achieving, and I'm never going to get to tell my dad that. So, I would like to do that monologue for you right now. So this is Lucy's Queendom monologue from your good man Charlie
Are you kidding?
I'm still old enough to play it, so I know it's casting a minute. Do you know what I intend? I intend to be a queen. And I'm going to live in a big palace. And everyone is going to cheer. And I will yell at them. And then in the summertime, I will go to my summer palace. And I will wear my crown and swimming and everything. And everyone is going to cheer. And I am going to yell at them. What do you mean I can't be a queen? Everyone should be allowed to be a queen if they want to be one. I mean, it's usually just a matter of knowing the right people. Okay. So if I can't be a queen, then I'll be very rich. Yes! I'm going to be very rich, and then I'll buy myself a queendom, and then I'll kick out the old queen and run the whole operation myself. I will be head queen.